Hi, this is Adam Kunzmiller with BGG TV, and we're at Gen Con 2015. I'm joined by Seth Jaffe with Tasty Minstrel Games, and we're here to talk about Dungeon of Fortune.
Yes, Dungeon of Fortune is a brand new game. We had a very limited number here at Gen Con, and they sold it right away. The only reason we had them is because we had to rush a few thousand copies over to go into Barnes & Noble, so we're pretty excited to see this in Barnes & Noble.
Cool.
But the rest of them are on a boat, and Barnes & Noble will be launching them this fall, and you'll be able to find it soon. What is it? It's a card game, and you might recognize the art. We have another game called Dungeon Roll. This is a card game that is a press your luck card game that is similar thematically to Dungeon Roll, and it's in that universe. We've used some of the same art, but it's definitely a different game. It's kind of a little bit of a step up in terms of complexity, but not terribly much. And here's how it works. In this game, we're all delving in a dungeon, and everyone's got their character. So for example, you've got the knight, and your knight has a special ability, which happens to be that when you draw a dragon card, you can swap it with another one, so it's easier to fight dragons. Don't know what that means yet, but that's okay. And you start with a certain party of adventurers. So your knight starts with a fighter, and a mage, and a cleric. So this is your party, your companions, okay? And you start on level 1 of the dungeon, and you are a level 1 character. So on your turn, you draw a card, and you have to deal with it. So this card, you're in level 1 of the dungeon, so you look at the first row of the card here. You've got 2 skeletons and a treasure token. So, similar to the dice game, if anyone remembers that, you must deal with these monsters. Any companion can kill a monster, but if you match colors, the cleric can kill all the skeletons.
Gotcha.
So you have to fight these skeletons, you spend your cleric, and it becomes an experience point.
Cool.
But for now, it's just over here in your area, and now it's worth a point, but he's spent. And if you live through that, then you get a treasure token. So you take a treasure token and you put it in your satchel.
Okay.
Pouch. I'm sorry, I forget what this is called. This is a pouch and this is a satchel. So this is like a temporary thing. If you couldn't beat these monsters up, you'd have to flee, and you lose everything that you've gained so far.
Okay.
So there'll be a little pressure luck. Then other players will take their turns. When it gets back to you, you're given the opportunity to stop here. If you stop here, you'll bank your treasure, and you'll bank your experience.
Right.
But you've got more companions. Why wouldn't you keep going? Take another card. It's a dragon. So the first dragon and the second dragon are like a warning a dragon is coming. The third dragon card you draw, you have to fight a dragon. Now a dragon costs any 3 companions, or they're color-coded. Each dragon is kind of weak against a particular type of hero. This particular dragon is weak against champions. You don't have any champions yet, but as you level up, you'll get them. So it's a champion and any other, or any 3, will defeat the dragon, and you get benefits for that. Currently, it's only 1 card, so there's nothing. Gets back around to you. You want to go again? Pilfer. A pilfer card lets you take a treasure token from another player's pouch or satchel. So if you're getting a lot of coins and you're winning, people will start picking on you with pilfer cards.
Right.
All right. And then if you keep going, maybe you get another card. Now this is a treasure chest. The treasure chest, you can leave it alone. You don't have to open it, or you can take one of your companions and send them into. They're going to be busy opening this trash. They're going to be used, but they don't get experience. You only get experience for fighting monsters. Right. For each treasure chest that you open, you get a coin. Now, some of these cards have multiple treasure chests. The thief characters, there are some companions that are thieves, and champions can open all of it with one go, one character. Otherwise, 1 per chest. Eventually, your numbers will dwindle, and you'll decide you're going to pack it in. Let's say you go one more time, another treasure chest. Maybe you'll open that as well. Next time it's your turn, you're out of companions. Maybe you'll stop here, right?
Sure.
So, when you stop, a couple things happen. You lock in your treasure for that you've got so far. This is no longer can be lost. It can be pilfered, but it's no longer at risk of being lost. You also lock in your experience. Okay? If you had enough experience, so it costs 2 experience to get down to level 2. So let's pretend that you had 2 experience. You would immediately get rid of those and level up. Now you'll start your next delve with a better party. Instead of a fighter and a mage and a cleric, you'll have a fighter cleric. Your mage will be upgraded to a champion who's basically like why he's better than the other characters, right? In addition, if you have enough stair icons, you can choose to descend.
And that's based on what's printed here?
Yes, this is how much it costs. To descend again, you'll have to go there, and then it costs more. When you descend, each card you deal with, you'll have to look at the second level instead of the first. As you go down, it's a little more dangerous, but also a lot more rewarding.
Sure.
After you hit level 3, you'll see that there's a lot more treasure to be had, a lot more treasure sometimes, but there's a lot more monsters. If you don't have the exact right guy, this could kill you, right?
Right.
So that's at the bottom. As you level up, you get more characters, or more companions they're called, and a better party. And when you get all the way up to the top, you get a special ability. In this particular case, the knight, when he fights dragons, a champion counts as two things, a champion and any other. So it's easier to kill dragons with the knight. Okay?
In this, so the dragons aren't always weak to champions, right?
Right,
But this
no,
would
the-
still let you say this is a champion and the other thing the dragon's weak to.
Well,
Could you do that? Or is it still that color?
no, a champion counts as two people.
Gotcha.
So it just takes a champion or. See what? Oh, sorry. Thank you. Right. So when you here's a dragon. That's an elder dragon. And there's a dragon whelp. And then if you maybe encounter a elder dragon, like an emerald dragon. So this dragon either takes 3 characters or a fighter and any other. If you're on level 5 as the knight, a champion counts as 2 characters. So it can be a champion and any, or if you're fighting this guy all by itself, just a champion.
Gotcha.
Right. So it's just champions are better against dragons, and he's got 2 champions. Right. And there's a whole host. There are 12 characters in the game. So there are 12 different characters. They have slightly different upgrade paths. Sometimes they have different costs here. They have different abilities. They're all sort of
Different
unique
mixes
and different.
of parties, all
That's
of
right.
that.
And then there's one last thing that was on these cards that we didn't talk about. You might see a scroll icon here. Unfortunately, we omitted this in the printed rulebook, but there's an upgraded one on BGG. The scroll, if you were to on your turn, flip a card, and let's say you flipped one you didn't like you already had 2 dragons, and you flipped a dragon, and you didn't want to deal with that, you could take a scroll you've already in your display and get rid of it to say veto, give me a different card, and hopefully it's not going to kill you, right?
Cool.
So that lets you, it's like a reroll, the equivalent
Makes
of
it
a reroll.
easier to dive a little deeper too. Feel
Yeah,
a
if
little
you
safer.
feel a little safer, but you're stuck with this.
Still
next
get
thing you
stuck
get,
with
right?
what it gets replaced with, right?
Right. One last thing, I did say it was a press your luck game. The last person in the delve gets 2 treasures.
Oh, just for staying longest?
Yeah, so if I'm out of guys and it's just me and you, I might say, you know what, I'm going to go for it. Maybe
it's a dragon.
Maybe
right.
it's a dragon and kills you. Or maybe
it's an optional.
Maybe it's a dragon and I haven't got 3. Maybe it's a treasure, I don't have to kill it. I have decent chances of not dying, but it's taking a risk because I might lose everything. But if I do that and I survive and you bail, then I'll get 2 treasures.
Right.
Now, how do you win? These treasures are each worth 1, 2, or 3 points. These are all worth 3 because I got all
Oh, so those are random.
So they were anywhere from 1, 2, or 3 points. So if you got a couple more points, a couple more treasures than me, I might be in it still. I'm not necessarily
Sure.
out just because you got more treasures than me, right? So that's basically the game. There's a little bit of press luck there.
Are you able to look at what these
Nope.
are?
You
So
don't look.
find till the very
You don't
end?
look to the very end. So
Cool. And how long does it typically take?
well, it's 2 to 6 players, so it's going to take a little longer if you have more players. But it's
Sure.
really that's like a half an hour game. Oh, what's the box say? It's like a half an hour to 45 minutes probably.
30 minutes. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So pretty quick.
Well, once again, this was Dungeon of Fortune from Tasty Minstrel Games.
Look for it at Barnes & Noble or any of your local card shops or game shops.
Great. Thanks, Seth.
Thanks.